That's correct. Because you've spent your psychic focus skill point on another one. Yeah. You also can use your points though to get the skills or the techniques, right, Mike?
Correct.
And
No, I don't think you can do it there. You could do it at. I don't think it gives you a skill point technically to use for techniques.
I had seen how to buy techniques. Let me double check.
Oh no, I mean you're right that one skill point gets you a technique, but there it gets you one level of skill. You know what I mean? Like there's that difference.
Creation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no. If you pick one psychic skill and you put both your points in it to make it level 1, then you also get one technique for free. That's the first bullet point under class abilities for psychic.
Right.
And then I had a question, Mike. I'm not sure if it's because we're using kind of weird character sheets, but on your character sheet, I saw you'd listed under skills, you've got your psychic skills listed.
Correct.
And you have telekinesis, teleportation. And then under psionic disciplines, you've got biopsionics and teleportation. Is that intentional?
No, it shouldn't. Oh, no. Yeah. Because I was trying to mess around with the psionic skills, and then I got tired of messing around with them because I don't think it had teleportation. And so, or it didn't have one of them, or they started you off at level 1. And so then I just went and put them all under skills. But it is supposed to be telekinesis and teleportation.
And then for your Ironhide, you have in parentheses AC 21. That's including the one from Dex, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's AC 20 normally, and you added it up to 21.
Yeah, and the way I'm imagining it, that's kind of like an always present telekinetic field.
Is it something, and it's your choice, but is it something like, does it go away if you're unconscious, or if it's there if you're like sleeping and you get hit, do you get like woken by it? Like, does your mind sense? Like, what's the relationship between that and like a conscious projection of an just armor field?
I want to say it's an unconscious thing, just because if I wanted to, I could do a conscious projection, which gives me AC 17, I think, instead. So I want to kind of say it's an unconscious thing, like it's an always present thing. Like people probably feel like weird, like giving me a handshake because they're like millimeters away from my actual hand. And
oh, nice. No physical contact. So it's almost like the shields from Dune.
Yeah.
Okay. And then can you will it to go away, or is it pretty much always up?
Yeah, I probably have to actively will it away. Like if I was unconscious, it would still be present.
Is there any visual effect if somebody strikes you if you get shot with a bullet? Like, is it visible, or is it just like I get struck armor?
Well, I'll probably say at times it's visible. Like at times you can see like the energy like rippling along the shield, and at other times, depending on the hit.
Oh, maybe if you're committing effort too, like maybe that could flavor it. Okay, so the Ironhide is a psychic projection. It's not tied to your will.
Yeah.
Even if you're out of effort, because you bought it with a focus, it's there even without effort. So there's no problem there.
Correct.
You do have level 1 to get it. What did I have a question there? Oh, there's no level 3 on Ironhide. That's why I was had a note on that.
Correct.
And then Telekinetic Armory, does that, do you have like a preferred, or do you want to discover it through play? But like, do you have like do you prefer knives, or do you summon like a projectile, or what's your kind of flavor?
I want to say a lot of times it's a gun of some kind.
Okay. But you do have the freedom to switch around and do it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I'm always going to say it's a gun. Like even if you're right in my face, I pull a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I kind of always make that gesture, and probably not like Green Lantern showing up, but once again, when the Force shows up, or like when it shoots from my hand, or like you can kind of see like an intangible gun that I'm holding.
I like that. So
Or like if I was wielding like a sledgehammer or something, it would look like when it hits, it kind of would shimmer and look like a sledgehammer for a little while.
and it probably appears to the people around you, like however you're picturing it. I'm picturing there was a book called The Regulators by Stephen King where this like little kid was messed up in the head, but he could conjure like whatever horrible things he was thinking of into the world.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was like a really cartoony monster.
Nice, actually, that's good.
So I like whatever, like if you're picturing a particular badass Desert Eagle,
Why is
you
that?
pull out a big ass Desert Eagle. But if you're picturing like a little silenced PPK,
Yeah.
we had and lost JoJo. And then I also noticed you didn't put down, and it might have just been a choice, but you do have telekinetic manipulation when you take skill.
Yeah, I didn't put it down simply because I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That, and then also the teleporting one. Oh no, that's one you put down. That's the core technique. Very cool. Howdy, JoJo. We are recording,
Howdy.
so keep your profanity to a maximum.
All right.
Fuck you.
Oh, and JoJo and I were chatting a little bit. He provided a pretty cool idea for a basically like an equivalent to an armsman focus for psychics. I'm just going to scroll up through our conversation. Pretty much at level 1, you get a psychic skill as a bonus for taking the focus. You increase your effort. Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at mine. Level 1, you get a psychic skill, and your skill level becomes a bonus to attack when you attack with it. It counts as TL4 for the purpose of overcoming advanced armors. That's level 2. And then even if you miss with it, you do a D4 damage. And then at level 3, it doesn't require any effort commitment to make the attack. So that's one he came up with. And then I came up with one that I'm kind of playing with that I'll paste into chat. I'm not sure about all of it yet, but it'll go into Roll20 chat.
I'm on my phone right now, so I don't really have a computer screen in front of me, so I'm going to be switching in and out of both of them.
Okay. I came up with one, I'm calling it right now Psychic Determination. You can gain a psychic skill as a bonus, and you increase your effort by 1. Pretty much the same as psychic, whichever one you already have. Psychic training. Level 2, when you use a psychic skill that you chose at level 1, you can commit effort to gain an additional +1 bonus to skill checks or attacks. And then at level 3, you can commit 1 effort for the scene to impose a penalty of -2 on any target who resists your skill on their saving throw. And if you torch to use the effect, you can increase that to -4. I'm trying to find ways to kind of encourage torching, just so we can see what it looks like, but then also looking for ways to like repair some of the damage done by torching, so it's not permanent. So, Bob, do you have a particular character you're going with yet, or do you want to hear more? Do you want to hear about Mike and JoJo first?
Yeah, let me hear about them.
JoJo, do you want to talk to us a little bit about Tane and tell me how to pronounce the name?
Tane.
Tane.
Yep.
I was so close.
So basically, I've got the idea of I guess, psychic scientist, but he's not like the stay in the lab scientist. It's the get out there and learn about things and be able to do them scientist. Psychic powers, his main one is going to be telepathy. and then touch of telekinesis, and then probably going to, with later points, add in the meta psionics. And most of his skills are going to be around things like fixing knowledge, and then some survival, and I think it's awareness in this one, whatever the noticing stuff is, those types of skills. Not sure how much more there is to say about him. I guess as far as goals and whatnot, his main like long-term one, I guess, is trying to recreate and make new like pre-tech and sci-tech items and weaponry and stuff like that. Trying to return to that level of civilization.
So any rumor of pre-tech that pops up, Tane will be very interested in.
Mhm.
I'm picturing kind of a MacGyver sort of character here.
Yeah, a little bit like that. A little bit of Indiana Jones kind of feel to it as well, with the going out and discovering all the old archaeology type digs and whatnot, finding everything.
Let me see here. Polyxena is tech level 5, and there is some pre-tech present on the world. What's a piece of pre-tech that you have interacted with? You probably don't possess anything on you right now, but what's something you've gotten a taste of?
Probably some of the interesting like pre-tech, maybe not so much armor, but like clothing. The one, I think they called it a stutter jump suit. It's got the psionic circuitry to mimic the teleportation, and just the cool little things like that are not so much military tech, but still cool sci tech.
I could see how that might also kind of tie to a psychically empowered character, like maybe the pre-tech had unlocked sort of what happened to you. So if you have an anxiety about MES, like maybe in pre-tech there's salvation. Pre-screen they knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a short-term goal, or is it just a long-term goal?
I mean, any short-term goals he would have would probably go along with that, like amassing the resources to really delve into having the items to try and rebuild stuff, connections to find all the other stuff, and to not be hunted down by a world government or something because of it. So the steps to get there, I guess.
How long have you worked for Cardenas Company?
Probably at least like a year or so, maybe longer.
Okay. And I vaguely remember, and we'll talk to Mike in a moment, but I vaguely remember that he was working for them and he was happy to have gotten off his homeworld, but he wasn't necessarily looking at a long-term career with them. Although
more of a means to an end.
And Tane in pretty much same sort of boat.
Yeah.
Has Cardenas Company, have they heard about your interest in pre-tech? Have they offered you anything or given you at least hope?
Probably not offering anything, but they would probably have at least noticed, just because of the he's not exactly trying to hide it.
All of your after action reports always indicate like anything that could have been pre-tech, like need to investigate, and they give like, nah, you do this next thing.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anything else that you want to share about Tane at this point? I see you've got a sword blade and a great sword and a mono blade. You're not trained with either.
Well, that's the telekinesis skill, lets you mimic a combat rifle.
So those are your TK. Okay.
Yeah, and then a light and a heavy melee weapon. So I just got the stat blocks there to make sure I've got that on hand.
Mike and I were just talking about this, like when you pull out your telekinetic armory and like summon up
Yeah.
a greatsword, do you actually like wield it like a greatsword? And is there any visible or other manifestation of a greatsword that people like would see?
Yeah, that's actually something I had thought about. I should have mentioned that. So they let you do armor and weaponry. So I was thinking for armor, it would be like almost like some of the Iron Man style ones, where it's the full body, like sleek power armor, not like Space Marine type stuff or anything. Weaponry would be like shoulder cannons or the little hand launcher type things, and then you would probably actually wield the telekinetic greatsword like an actual sword, just for the coolness factor of actually swinging it around.
Okay, very cool. I think on your kit, I was pretty comfortable. Oh, tailored anti-allergens. Is that just a generic, like when you go to a world, you have something for like common toxins on that world?
If I remember what it was, yeah, it was basically it gives you like you've got not an immunity, but you're actually as if you're from there as far as different toxins and pollens on there, and you can eat the food of the world without problems. Let me scroll down to it again.
I didn't look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Good
basically you get to a new world and you're not gonna die of hunger and thirst because the food's a little bit off.
Let's see. I think we'll come back to you in a little bit here, but let's hear some about Naji. Mike, do you want to tell us a little bit about Naji?
Yeah, he was born on a failed colony, developed his psychic powers there, and probably within the past 6 months to a year, he's joined the Cardenas Company, and he's starting to bristle underneath their yoke. While he was on the failed colony, he's trained under some other psychics, and kind of developed his telekinetics to the point that it's an unconscious defense and weapon.
On Felu, was there a like it's a failed colony, but they might still have some viable thing going on? Was like a psychic academy or anything?
No, I think it was probably some kind of religious order. I haven't worked it out yet. He probably has some religious belief.
Okay. Very cool.
And so, yeah, he's been working for Cardenas Company. He's definitely more of a bruiser, uses telekinetics to has a weapon defense and as an intimidation
shaving cut.
and as an intimidation tactic.
And teleportation. You're at, I don't see the skill level. Skill level 0?
Yeah.
It's like 10 yards, 10 meters?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just something he just recently mastered.
Okay. Do you have any short-term or long-term goals?
Like I said, he's just starting to bristle underneath Cardenas Company, so he is currently trying to figure out a way out of the damn contract with them.
Okay. So,
I'm thinking he probably started talking about like, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then they were like, no, that's covered underneath your contract. You can't do that. And he was like, wait, what the fuck? And so he probably just started feeling the problems of being underneath contract with them.
what's an example of a thing that like was he caught drunk when he was on call, or like what was the thing that he's prohibited from doing that he wants to do?
I think it was some kind of business. Like he was going to do some kind of business, either invest in it, and it was like, no, that's part of your non-compete clause type thing. Like, we don't need you having any outside interests, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe even like conducting business like under the guise of Cardenas Company. Like you used your employment to get access to a market, or
Yeah, maybe even that.
And you're not representing us in this matter. What the hell are you doing? Okay. What was your punishment for like an infraction? What was like a non-severe punishment Cardenas Company did to you?
Oh, I think it was totally. I had to turn over the funds that I had generated.
Oh shit! So you turned like a pretty big profit, and they're
Yeah.
like, nope, penalty happens to match your profit. Very cool. Why do you carry an Argus web?
I think that's the recent edition.
Okay.
Like I'm going to record the shit they're doing to me.
So you're actually, it's your blackmail device.
Correct.
Okay. Let me see real quick. Is your Argus web? Do you have any sort of like? I'm trying to picture with like telekinesis. If you had like some of your sensors in the Argus web were like a GoPro, where you could like shoot it around and do shit with it. Because you're at level
No,
1.
Yeah, I think it was pretty recent. Like I think he just has it. It's the basic 360 camera views right now.
Okay, just around you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Tell me about Savage Fury. Is that part of your martial arts training or your religious training?
Yeah, that's part of the psychic training. It's him just picking up and in a fight, like his telekinetics is activating even subconsciously to pick up and hurl stuff at people that seem a threat, and slamming into people.
And Savage Fury's on even if you have committed all your effort. Like you don't have any committed effort. So like between that and Ironhide still working whether you have effort or not, I'm picturing almost like a static charge of psychic energy just kind of always like around you, like ready to do some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like I always kind of have some level of psychic defense.
Is that something that like people who can tune into psychic energy, like maybe you pop up on their radar more than others, or do you not want to play with that?
Yeah, I totally think it is. Like I've developed it to the point that I'm kind of always using my psychic powers, so like even when they're not actively going, I'm throwing stuff around or deflecting bullets or whatever. Like I think you can still probably collect some of it. Or still sense some of it.
Kind of picturing the Wizard's Apprentice, like now I'm going to start using cantrips to like do all my chores. You just are just tuned into always psychically doing shit.
I mean, you don't want to have to wipe your own ass. That's what the teleconnect's for.
Exactly.
Just teleport away from the poop.
There you go.
So long-term goal is to break contract with Cardenas Company.
Correct.
Short-term goals, like secure a profitable deal, something like that.
Oh, I totally
Or,
think he is very much a survivor. Like that's always his first term goal is I'm getting out of this alive and hopefully better than I was before. But a little bit above that is probably turning a profit, advancing his own interests a little bit.
Okay. I'm thinking I'm still playing with how XP awards should be kind of balanced to be compelling and still achievable. I think just for shits and giggles, I'm going to throw some numbers out there. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and then we'll go on to Bob. Actually, let's hear Bob's first. Bob, do you have a character that you want to port over? You had listed some pretty cool concepts in the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at them, trying to figure out which one would make the most sense.
If for instance, you play a pilot, then we'll end up having a crew with a ship. If you don't play a pilot and Liz doesn't play a pilot, then we're going to either have, like, at least to start, the company can fly you places. And if you leave the company, like if you guys break contract or whatever, you can either make getting a ship priority or even get like a drone that flies it for you. Like we will, if nobody's a pilot, I'm not going to make like being a pilot an important part of the session. So with that in mind, you can be the jazz singer, you can be the pilot, you can be the kind of feral combat kid. We will design the opportunities for fun around what you choose.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the jazz musician.
Very cool.
Nice.
All right.
It
This
was
will
like,
be interesting.
Did you get
Well,
the
yeah.
link I'd sent to? There's a Google Drive folder with some character sheets.
no. Let me look.
Maybe sure.
Was it in the Google chat and Hangout chat?
It was yeah, but it was like last week. Let me.
I'm going to last week's chat.
It's gonna go in here now.
That was.
So if you go in there, there's character sheets that you can use, and you can see, and you could even edit everybody's. Just don't.
Let's see. Google Drive.
Just start populating that sheet. And a quick breakdown just of what we've looked at so far. And there's plenty of planets and other groups to start defining. But Mike and Jojo both work for a group called Cardenas Company. And
Mhm.
as you've heard, they both have like other priorities, but like this job has, at least for now, given them a little scratch in their pocket, a little mobility. When it comes to character creation, they both got 1,000 credit bonus, and you can have the same thing. We'll just need to know why you have it. So they both work for Cardenas Company. Cardenas Company is a interstellar, so kind of several places throughout the sector. They're not controlling this vector, the sector yet, but they're on a lot of planets and controlling. And they're basically a snack company, but they work in all sorts of things that support the logistics of being a major snack company. So they have subsidiaries that do farming, different agriculture, and probably controlling access to water resources and controlling trade routes and things like that. And they're always trying to expand their portfolio. They've been around since the Scream. They're from when they started on their planet, at least they trace their lineage, claim they trace it back to Terra. And they're from the planet Halia, which is where I think I'm kind of picturing it as home base for now. If you are in Roll20, you can see on the map. I'm going to ping it now. There's Halia.
Where? Let's see. The map that where are you pinging?
0203 is Bueno Sector.
Yeah.
If you go up to 0000, there's a planet called Feliu, and that's where Mike is from. And there's a tiny abandoned, collapsing mining colony. And then down in 406 is a huge planet called Polyzena. That's where JoJo's from.
Do you have a cosmopolitan planet?
We have a planet. If you look in the handouts, there's a planets in Venland Beta, and there's a list of planets there.
Don't see. Let's see. Stars without number. Where am I looking in the handouts?
Click on the journal and go under sector Venland Beta.
Planets. Okay, let's see. That's kind of small. All right, how do we expand that? Aha. Let me go like this.
We're going to start tonight on the planet Palomi, which is a temperate, air is breathable. It's a smallish planet, big mining company.
Which planet do you have? It's like a cosmopolitan planet that would have like entertainment industry of some kind.
Okay. Most of the planets that you have there aren't very defined yet, and so we can take this opportunity to define one. But just to include one that is already somewhat defined. There's a planet Tomas, which I may not have put on the map yet, but it's in 0101. Ping there. And Tomas is a warm, breathable atmosphere, miscible biosphere, so it's suitable to human life. They've got millions of people. It's a major trade hub, and it's tech level 4. So that could be in my head with the trade hub. Like it could be the ideal place for like a really cosmopolitan like traders coming from all over.
All right, so I'll come from there then. Let's see. Intelligence 11.
I think well, Bob's porting Gifar.
Yeah,
Well, he's porting Gifar over. Jojo, for your long-term goal of discovering a piece of pre-tech, I don't think it's going to be like we'll take the whole campaign trying to get it, but it's going to be something like we'll need to find some clues, sniff those out, get the group to go with you. Like it's not going to be easy, but probably achievable within say 10 adventures or fewer.
All right.
I'm going to say 5,000 would be maybe a reasonable goal to achieve that. And if you get it in one adventure, you get 5,000. If it takes you 500 adventures, it gets you 5,000.
All right.
But I think 5,000.
Are we using the experience table from the original book? Because I couldn't find one in the beta anywhere.
Maybe it wasn't the beta. Maybe it was the original. The one I'm remembering was where it was about 750 per adventure, and then it said a number to level. Yeah, I think it was in the original book.
Okay.
So I'm just flipping through here and I'm not seeing it. Yeah, they just had the skill points. And then I think, Mike, to turn a tidy profit, you could probably do that if you find an opportunity in one adventure. So maybe 500 for that one. And to break free of Cardenas Company, probably about somewhere in the middle between yours and Discovering Pretech, so 3,500. And then if we get into play and it turns out like those goals are like way too low or way too high, just let me know your thoughts on that. We can fine tune it. And I'm going off the metric of roughly 500 XP for how many sessions I would kind of half expect it to fit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, in top of that XP, when you guys are completing adventures, at least like while you're working for Cardenas Company, they're going to lay out their expectations, and successfully pleasing your boss is going to earn you XP. And I'll roughly go off the 750 per adventure that they recommend in the main book. And it's going to be like, as far as your boss knows, like it's going to be kind of included in compensation from them to start. So you don't have to necessarily be honest with them. You just have to convince them that you're doing what they've told you to do. I think that'll be a good starting way to go after this. Let's see where Bob is.
I just found the XP table they use for per mission and all, because I was wondering they do exponential levels for the characters. They do the same for the rewards as well. It goes up as you go up in level by like a lot. It's kind of ridiculous.
The one thing I think each class also progresses at a pretty different rate, right? Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, I think Warrior and Psychic were the same, if I remember, and then the Expert like leveled up faster.
Let's see if I can find that. Oh, and Bob, I'm looking at your skills. Are you looking at the beta and going for the for skills? We were going to do the heroic.
Oh, so they're heroic characters?
Yeah, except for hit points and stats, we were doing just the gritty. but for things like determining your skills and using, like, everybody's gonna get fray damage, you're gonna be heroic in those terms.
So you're able to do a lot, but you can die at any time.
Yeah.
I don't think you get any extra skills for being heroic, though.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm
you
seeing
do.
that you've got 5 skills and one of them's at level 1, so that's
Yeah.
6 skills. Is that under the beta?
Yeah, because I get
Oh, it's expert. That's why I'm looking at different. Okay.
yeah, but he has connect and the diplomat, and that gave him connect 1, and diplomat gave him talk +1. But it's a 0 he had,
Very cool.
and then performance, and then he rolled any combat skill, which was shoot. Get the +4 charisma for 2 levels of growth. And notice was the free skill. Yeah, because you get extra, you get the skill. You got talk as expert, then connect, then talk +1, then yeah, all the skills. I was thinking about raising his performance to 1 instead, but doesn't really matter. He's handsome. But what does heroic do? What, gets him a 3rd level of focus, or what?
Yeah, it gives you a 3rd level of focus, and
Oh,
yeah, that should be the main thing.
Yep. You can automatically roll a 12 on a non-combat skill once per day, as well as the other heroic expert ability.
That's the sheet.
I haven't yet decided, Fish, what it's going to be, but I see that one of the possible religions is Quietist Muslim, and that is going to be my thing.
Okay. There is, I do have on the planet Palomi that you'll be going to is Islamic. So do you want to incorporate that religion into Palomi?
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be there. But the group I trained under was a Muslim religion. However, they favored the precepts of being like a very much more internal contemplation and development, as opposed to an outward prayers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not going to match here then. So that'll be different. So quietist Muslim.
Mhm.
And then I'll come up with a different Islamic church for the Palomi. And Palomi is also going to be Persian. And I think, if I remember, you were Arabic, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you're Arabic. If Failu is a failing planet, a failing colony, what's like a major Arabic planet that your maybe ancestors would have come from? Or is Failu failing since the Scream?
Give me 1 second. Somehow I managed to get out of Roll20, or I'm logged under somewhere else. So. Totally go with whatever planet has the most Islamic name or system. That's how I did.
System 401 Utara, planet Assad, has billions of people. Breathable, temperate to warm, missable, tech level 3.
That is officially the Islamic homeworld right there.
See, I thought you were gonna go with Thorbjorg.
Oh God, trying to use Roll20 on your phone is fucking impossible.
I have a lot of these also in Google Drive. I just don't want to share those yet because I've got private notes in there. But I'll try and come up with like a way to screen those and give you public access to
Oh
them.
no, I'll totally do. Hopefully, I'll be on my computer next time.
Okay. Bob, let me know when you're ready to talk about your character, and we'll get a little introduction, and then we'll.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this stupid thing to fill in here. All right, I'll put it up here now. So I'll go there. See if it'll work this time. Okay.
Actually, Jojo, while we're waiting, talking about Gafir, on Polygina, I've got them that they're bubble cities. You got that really thick atmosphere, so you kind of have people can go out into it without a rebreather. It's really tough to breathe. Millions of people are clustered in these bubble cities around the surface that we talked about last time.
Mhm.
You also talked about the political group, was it New Republicans? Let me double check that. But the kind of xenophobic political group that was in the area. Republican element? Yeah, Republican element. What's another thing that you want to establish about the Polynesian culture of Polygina? Is there a religion or a
could do like a weird sort of neo version of was it Hawaii, the kind of Maori religion. How to update it for the new age though?
Oh, I'm picturing that.
Ooh, could add in like they've got a lot of their stuff is about like the spirits and ancestors and whatnot. Could add in like that they've taken new ones for the advances in technology and psionics and the traveling the stars, so that those sort of ideas now have their own
Nice.
set of gods and whatnot.
Island hopping through the skies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rite of passage is no longer getting to the next island; it's getting to the next star system or whatever.
So it's a big and robust culture. They've got their tech level 5, so there is like a strong like go out. Is trade involved, or is it just like exploration?
There would have to probably at least be trade of ideas, if not stuff as well.
So I'm picturing with the Republican element being kind of bigoted and anti-immigration. Like your people are really big on like going out and seeing the sector, but not so much on people getting to come back and pollute what you have.
Bringing it to the outside, but not really letting people try to alter the way they are.
Picturing kind of like feudal Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and I also when you were
pretty good analogy.
When you were mentioning it, I had when you first brought up the Hawaii, and the Maori reference, I was thinking of these great big kind of between the bubble cities, great big Maori type statues, some sort of pre-scream remnants that are out kind of in the thick jungled areas, and maybe even around them. I don't know if it was from our conversation. I didn't have a note on it, but I remembered thinking it was like thickly jungled and like there's predators everywhere between the bubble cities. And
I remember we had mentioned that it would be people don't travel between the two without like caravans in some way because they'll be taken by whatever it is out there.
Yeah, and I think these Maoris are kind of like the waypoints on the road. Like, if you can't get to another city by night, you at least want to try and get into the shadow of one of these great big statues that's like poking through the jungle. And I'm really blending cultures here. I'm picturing kind of like a Mayan type ruin out in the jungle. But we'll pull it off like a large stone head, or in some other way we'll play with that if we
like the big Easter Island statues and whatnot.
Bob, how's Gafir going?
Should I buy should I buy a rifle? Should I buy a gun or something like that, or?
For your starting credits, you're going to add 1,000 to your starting credits, and so you can use them on anything tech level 4 and below. Let me see where expert is. No, I printed the book, and the pages are too damn small to read.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But I have the PDF open too, and I keep picking the damn book open instead of. Oh, I think starting money was the same for every class, right?
Yeah.
3d6 times 10.
Which isn't really enough to buy much of anything. It's more like walking around money.
Yep.
I wonder if he intends to give like starting kit based on your background and stuff.
Well, it says that there was supposed to be starting package. You could take the starting package or take the money, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take the starting package." Oh, no, that's not
There's
it.
none.
Not made yet.
You know, which I don't even know if a starting package would fit with this character because I don't know. I get him like a laser pistol and level 4, right?
We were totally trying to avoid Maz Eisley, but I think you're dragging us there. Is your first goal just to like shoot Greedo before Hanken?
Yeah, work for Greedo. I'll shoot him.
I mean,
Well,
if he doesn't, I'll have to make a gigantic, sword out of mind energy and slice off his hand. So.
God damn it, we went Jedi. So Gifar Maxwell from the planet Tomas.
What the hell is a conversion bow? And why does it cost as much as a mag rifle, plasma projector, or
What's the tech level on that?
what does it do? Conversion bow.
I'm seeing it here. It's tech level 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's eligible to you.
What does it do?
I'm looking for it. I might not have it in here. Let me see if it's in the old book. He's updating the book, and so there's some stuff that he just hasn't gotten around to yet, I think.
I wonder if it just costs more because it's hard to find.
He had a few things like that in the original book that were just hard to find, so therefore they were more expensive. But yeah, for this one, I was reading about his thought process, and a lot of it, he just copy and pasted the old book and then pretty much swapped out the character creation and the systems setting, or the systems and I think the setting, and then all the rest is still the old book at this time, except with whatever he has deliberately changed. It's just still the old book.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna look a laser pistol.
Yeah, they don't even have it in the old one. It's primitive bow and advanced bow in the old one.
Yeah, it's some kind of new bow. It doesn't do that much more damage.
It's going to be a Wookiee.
It's fantastically expensive.
It's the conversion to the new edition bow.
Let's see.
Totally that.
All right.
Makes sense to me.
There it is.
Pretty nice compared to the other bows, though.
Yeah, but
Mike, I was trying to remember in the original version, were there weapons? Maybe like Monoblade or Vibroblade or something. Were there weapons that could just ignore armor below a certain tech level?
Yes.
I was chatting with JoJo about that today, and I can't remember how we came across that. If it was in the book or if it was something we made up.
There were melee weapons. There was some kind of melee weapon I remember for a fact. But there was a melee weapon that ignored and did in fact.
I think it was anything below tech level 2 or tech level 3.
all right. Well, I don't imagine I need more than like a laser pistol and Under Armour. I mean, the other stuff I would need would be like regular stuff, which I don't see in the list anywhere.
What is your armor?
Armored undersuit, which is
13.
basically like it's basically like you wear it under your clothes. It's like armor 13.
What's your kit then? What's your outfit? What clothes does the jazz singer?
Normally he wears like like a contemporary jacket thing. I'm thinking more Miami Vice though than not like a tie and stuff, but just kind of like a jacket with like casual stuff underneath it. Yeah, and body armor. If you ever joined this thing.
You always have like shades in your pocket and.
Yeah.
What's the smell of Gifar Maxwell?
What kind of food is it? Tropical world or just open for?
Tomas is pretty wide open. What I have so far is it's warm, breathable air, miscible biosphere. It's a trade hub. So the outdoors could be open, tropical.
Yeah, okay. I'm envisioning that the world doesn't have like huge land masses. It has mostly like large islands and smaller islands, and the entire place, like all the space and industry is on like the bigger places, and then all the smaller islands are almost like tropical resorts. And there's like lots of power boating around to different islands and stuff, rather than using submersible power boats, though, because sometimes the storms hit. Pick level 4, right? Which is like slightly above modern.
Yeah, it's Buck Rogers.
Yeah. So we
Laser
got like
gun.
we got like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of ridiculous, draws power from the seawater somehow. And you gotta like service them every, so people like live, there's like a whole tribe of people living in their boats and stuff, but also like, you go to the island and that's where like the cities are. And
I'm picturing, also maybe lots of privately owned islands
yeah, that's where the rich
for
people
the really wealthy,
Nice.
and then large cruise ships that kind of float around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost picturing like a ship that can go up to low orbit and like dock on a interstellar cruiser.
Oh, like
Pick up a bunch of tourists. I'm picturing almost like the helicopter aircraft carriers from
Shield helicarrier.
Yeah. Picturing like those going up to
thinking of
space to pick up people and then go back down, like cruise the oceans.
What about that ship from The Fifth Element? That giant what the hell was that ship
Oh
called?
yeah, the one that the opera singer was on, right?
Yeah, the giant space cruise ship.
Yeah.
That looked like you land on a planet and be a cruise ship on the planet.
Yeah, very cool.
So they got blown up by an awfully small bomb.
So that's where Tomas where at my last Stars Not Number character was named Tomas, and I randomly generated a planet named Thomas, so I'm gonna try not to fuck him up. But that's where Gafar comes from is Thomas, and you come from like probably the luxury lifestyle scene there. What has brought you to Palomi, the small mining planet where the Cardenas company at least has some interests? Are you working for Cardenas?
I'm working for Cardenas, but I see someone's missing, possibly like a sister or a brother or a family member. And they got like, because normally, I'm just happy being, a jazz singer, working on the various cruise ships, making money, having sex with tourists and other people. But I got drawn into this, and so, I put on body armor and got a job as one of these free floating troubleshooters in the hopes that it will somehow bring me word of this person I'm missing. Give me a name.
Yeah, give me the name of the missing person, and maybe like a fan of yours or even a patron of yours pulled some strings. Like they knew that Cardenas Company had operations on this planet, and you're looking for the person here.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. How about, I don't know, what we go with, sister or brother? Yeah. What do you want? Okay, well, sister will go with Malika. Malika, actually, Malika. That's her name.
And so, do you have a long-term goal of finding Malika?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do now. What am I short term?
I'm gonna assign that long-term goal. I think you're at the tail end of actually following her down, and that's brought you to Palomi. And so you've pulled some strings. You've had somebody calling some favors to get you like sent here with Cardenas Company. And let's give you a 2,000 XP if you can solve that mission, just because it's gonna be kind of in the forefront as we start. Do you perform like on your own, like a cappella, or do you usually have a band backing you up?
I can do both. Normally, normally,
like what's your?
He plays. He sings and he does. What do you call it? The sax.
Okay. Do you travel with the sax? Do you have it with you?
Of course.
Put that on your equipment for sure.
I don't
Don't
know where
even
to
pay
put
for
it.
it.
That's what it is. It's like just weapons and I don't know where it goes on this.
I think there's
Cyberware?
something top right called where there's equipment. You might have to scroll over to the right a little bit past the
Over
skills.
to the right. Hang on. Ah, okay. All right, cool. Got it. All right, hang on. All right. I got my sexy shades. Uh,
Oh, I'd asked you earlier about like scent. Do you have like a discernible like a either you smell like stale smoke from the nightclubs, or you have like a sexy cologne that you wear, or like what's?
oh he always wears like the finest scents or whatever, because that's one of the things they sell off this place. They hunt the neo whales and take their futuristic ambergris and turn it into stuff, colognes and whatnot. So he always smells like, when you smell him, he smells like a courtesan, but like a very well paid courtesan. Let's see.
Has Gafar ever been in the ship before? He carries a laser pistol. Has he used it, or is it just like a bravado thing?
He knows how to use it, but he's never really shot against other people and stuff, because that isn't the kind of thing that goes down on his world.
And
Well, not at his level anyway. Not where he's normally. Occasionally, there are pirates and stuff like that, and they might have tried to attack a cruise ship, and so you go over there and point guns at them until they leave. But no, he hasn't really shot anybody.
Generally, there's either security or a bouncer.
Yeah, they have people they pay for that. They're way better at that, putting holes in other people. And he's good at talking, so usually, he'll just talk them into doing it. I'm far too handsome and good looking to be into shootings.
Make sure I'm comfortable with Gafar, and then we'll get started. Oh, do you have any short-term goals other than finding your sister?
Short-term goal. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to. I've been uninspired. I just kind of like bum around on the planet, and so I'm trying to find inspiration to write like a new song or album or something that'll put me back into the public light.
Nice.
I mean, it doesn't last very long on this planet, but this. Let's see. Chrome. Saxophone.
Why am I having trouble finding Connect? Where is the description for Connect? Is Connect one of your?
Connect is where is it? Connect is the foci, and it also gives you the skill Connect.
Which page is the focus on?
Hang on. Boop, boop. It's right at the very beginning. Let me scroll back here.
Yeah, it's the second one on page 16. Connected.
Why do I go from 15 to 17? What the hell is this? What does my printed book do?
Okay, yeah.
You're probably on the right side because it's
Oh
double.
shit! It's double. Yeah, that's why it prints so small. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
I can read it to you.
No, I got it here. Connected. Okay. Yeah, you guys. Mike, are you here? Mike.
He said something about having to run outside and bury something. I'm not sure.
Totally talking to you guys. I'm just muted myself.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the past few days, Cardenas Company has sent Naji and Tani to the planet Palomi. It's in the next sector over from Bueno, in the Sirtis sector. And as you're going on the jump on a corporate ship, what do you guys do with? I think. Oh, let me double check. I think they were running some. people over here, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, we're moving a contingent of security personnel on like a troop transport from your from the base world of Halia to Palomi. These are standard security personnel. I'm getting some really bad feedback from somebody. Not sure who it is.
Yeah, I'm
Is
not
anybody else
sure.
hearing it, or is it just me
I'm hearing
I
it.
hear it whenever you start talking.
when I start talking?
So I think, yeah, so I think it might be your setup.
Testing, testing. I'm not hearing it right now.
Yeah,
Let me know.
now. There it is again.
It has to be me then. I don't understand how it could be me. Let me turn down my sound. Okay, try again.
I'm hearing it right now. I'm gonna try. Next time I hear it, I'm gonna try muting Mike and just see if that does it. But for now, I'll keep going. So yeah, you're both on a troop transport carrying security personnel from Halia over to Palomi. It's a few days to the jump point, and then about a week, 6 days across the jump point, and then a couple more days to land there. You guys, have you adventured before? Do you know each other?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Just to make it easy on everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then if
And does
for how long?
Gafar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let them in training.
Okay, how long would we have gone with? Because I've got the one thing where if we've practiced for at least a week, like it's people I know and we've practiced this, I can do the mental contact without spending the effort.
Nice. You've definitely been with this group for over a week. It's been at least 8 days of just hold up on the ship, and who knows how much longer before that.
Okay.
So,
See, I can open up the contact to make sure we can talk with each other without worrying about language.
and depending on the number of people that you're going with, you also have an agent from a Cardenas company named Santos, and he is going with you to your planet because you're leaving the home sector, the Bueno sector. They send a handler with you who can be kind of. He may or may not be on the same planet as you. He might stay in orbit, but you can reach him via radio and things like that.
All right.
That's really distracting. I'm going to mute you real quick, Mike.
Go for it.
Testing, testing, testing. I'm not hearing it right now. Oh, I'm hearing it.
There it is again.
That's because I unmuted myself.
I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna mute myself when I hear it and see if it's going on.
Testing. Well, we both use it's great, but there's nobody talking then.
See, I don't hear anything from anybody.
I was hearing it even while I was muted. Yeah, I think it might be Mike. Well, we can just push through it. It's a little bit distracting, but it's not like it's unlivable. So let's look at you're establishing your psychic connection with who, Jojo?
Let's see. Which of you would be the hardest one to communicate with? Like, which one? I don't know if you. I think we would all speak different languages. You speak probably Arabic as your first.
Correct. What does the connection do?
So, normally I would spend 1 point of effort per person that I would connect with. And then at the level I'm at, I can observe emotional states in the target, which wouldn't really help. I wouldn't be doing that. But the main thing is that a connection with the target's language centers allow the telepath to understand any form of communications made by the target. If they've got the requisite body parts to speak the target's language, then they can communicate with it in turn.
I'm totally not letting you sense my emotional states on a regular basis.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be using that. the main thing right now would be trying to make sure we can speak with each other.
It basically lets him open the connection for committing effort for a scene instead of for the full day. And then you can also do instant action rather than main. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's normally it costs a effort for the day as a main action with Facile Mind. If I've contacted an ally when we've practiced the process, it requires no effort at all.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I would totally have practiced it with you.
I'm wondering, I think you have to have perception of the target of your contact also. And so it wouldn't really make sense to do that to the guy who might be on a ship up over the planet and stuff, right? So it'll be Mike and or Bob.
Yeah, it's not until I get far thought that I can do stuff like that.
Okay. So yeah, so and Bob would Gafar?
Yeah.
Let Tani do that.
Yeah, totally good with that.
So yeah, as I read it, you could definitely have them both queued up.
Yeah.
So what does everybody look like?
Oh, we haven't done that. Shit. I'm sorry. Let's start with Jojo.
I just dropped a picture in the chat as well that I've got replacing my bear. But
I like the tattoos. I like the tattoos.
Yeah, I was thinking the full body Maori tattoo style that they do, but despite that, he's not doing like the Maori warrior get up. He's more well dressed, top hats. The modern man.
Do you carry any sort of like little doctor's bag or other satchel that you keep your gear in?
He would have to have some sort of like rucksack or something on his back to carry his various gear, and then he's got like the survival kit is a belt full of tools and everything that he's got on him as well.
I just want to give you an umbrella.
Large backpack that we shoved in.
I'm gonna give you an umbrella too.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a particularly large fella?
Yeah, you'd probably be like a little over 6 foot or so. 250 or something, maybe 260.
And what's a good meal for you? Like what does Tani relish digging into?
Fish and sweet rice. Like a big grilled, delicious fish and sweet rice. So like the rice that they cook down with pineapple and whatnot. Because that's always delicious.
Okay. Very good. And I picture, there's probably like huge ponds and patties back home, kind of out in the jungle, maybe around some of those Maori statues where people harvest their fish and grow rice. Very cool. Mike, why don't you go through Naji for us?
Naji is a dark-skinned, really young, short, probably like 5'6", 5'7", super skinny male, and he's always wearing either like light robes or very much traveling clothes of some kind. And he's always kind of eyes are on exits, very furtive looking unless he's in meditations at the time.
What's the like Mike walks into a room and sees Naji sitting there at a table. What does Mike first notice about him? Like the darting eyes?
Yeah, probably, definitely, Like if it's just walking into like a social situation, he's probably looking for the exit somewhere and looking at what can be seen, and probably there's a slight tremor in objects near him.
Nice. Does he appear to be nervous, kind of looking for exits because he's ready to go, or is he just like curious or attentive? Like what's the air that he gives?
Oh yeah, because he's a survivor. He is the rat. He is always looking for the next danger. the way out. That is what he's looking at.
Okay. Do the quietest Muslims practice prayer on a regular schedule?
Yes, very much so. Except it's more of a meditation, less of a very obvious prayer, like putting down the mat and is not something to do. It's very much more instead you meditate at certain times of the day.
Instead of turning east, you turn inward.
Correct.
Very cool. Do you have a litany that you go through when you do this?
Yeah, I would probably say that he does of some kind.
But it's something quiet. It's like a casual observer watching you do it might just think you got your eyes closed and you're in contemplation.
Correct.
Or can they see
Yeah.
you like mumbling and fidgeting with the thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And I think we've got some ideas on Ghaffar, but Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about Ghaffar? Describe your physical appearance again, your Miami Vice.
Yeah, I dropped a picture in the chat. He's very tall, very thin. He'd look English. Well, I like that picture, except more futuristic and chromy.
Are you the Doctor? That looks to me Doctor Who for some reason. Like Doctor Who meets the Highlander for some reason.
Everybody looks like the Doctor to you Americans.
Cool.
I mean, we already had the one now. He plays guitar. Next one could be playing sax. Why not?
I'll be the next one.
Do you usually, like, when you're on this transport for 8 days from Halia to Palomi, do you practice the sax on the ship?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll go into like the common room and just practice the sax, unless it's bothering somebody. And also, I'll try and like socialize and make connections, figure out where the still on the ship is and where what little things can be known.
And
you gotta keep your hand.
I think it probably doesn't generally bother people unless you like are trying to, right? Like generally, I mean, clearly there's some social context. You can't just bring it out like somebody's grandma's funeral, just like dominate the scene. But generally, you're good and you
funeral. Play low in the background.
Okay. Other than playing the sax, what's the thing that Ghaffar does like on a ship when you're going like between sectors?
Oh, he socializes. Yeah, he socializes. He talks to people, and makes connections and stuff. He's good with name, so he makes lots of friends. So that because you never know when that can come in handy.
Picturing just easy chat, and if you're big on making connections, probably you ask a lot of questions and like just remember the people you met and can draw like, oh yeah, this is a good person for that. Okay.
But one never knows.
Yeah, so I think the captain. What's the name of the ship that you flew here on? The transport that took you from Halia to Palomi. Give it a good Spanish galleon name.
Spanish galleon name.
The Dulce.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Captain Esteban of the Dulce has taken a liking to you also. He's invited you up to the officer mess hall quite a bit. And very good. So I think after a period being kind of crammed together, these soldiers, you've landed on the planet of Palomi, and it's pretty much one major capital city. I think it's Hafir, Hfir. One major capital city of a couple 100,000 people, kind of bustling. They've got their kind of wealthier homesteads, and then packed between them are just like picture like Rio de Janeiro, where they'll have like great big estates, and then just cram between them these like ramshackle houses crumbling.
Right.
Just you go from the extremes of poverty to wealth very quickly. It's huge city, pretty predominantly coming from a Persian background. Farsi is the main language. You do like land at a Cardenas Company pad. There's like a big spaceport just outside of the city, outside of Hafir. Cardenas Company has their own kind of customs house. Their ship lands there. People disembark like directly into a big kind of terminal, and from there get into their vehicles, and the troop transports kind of go out on their own way. You don't clear through any planetary customs coming in with Cardenas Company, and this is kind of I think a common thing that when you go to a city where you have a lot of trade from your company, they have their own way. You've landed, and you are debriefed as you're landing by a local person that Santos introduces you to. I need to get my name here. It's a man named Samir. And he basically lets you know he works for a Cardenas Company out of the planet here, Palomi. He's local. They have had some threats against a large mining operation that they have outside of town. It's a huge strip mine. Cardenas Company gathers a lot of very valuable ores that they use. A lot of it goes into the terraforming that they've got on some of the immiscible planets. And they've got some groups here in the city that are kind of agitated about a foreign company doing business on the land here. And Samir kind of does like a low-level intelligence operation. He's got people kind of planted with the various protest groups and things like that. And most of them don't pan out to anything, but he does have an agent named Parviz, who a couple of weeks ago had reported that there was an imminent strike on the mine. It was a preliminary report. He didn't know when. He just said, there's a lot of agitation. I've actually heard people like starting to gather gear. And then he went quiet. This is a couple of weeks ago. Samir called back home, and Cardenas Company mobilized a large group of security personnel and has them deployed now with you, but needs somebody to try and make contact with Parviz. And Samir tells you that the last he'd heard, Parviz was going out. He had gone out to the mines and was radioing back. So he'd recommend a trip to the mines. He has held up a transport truck, which is basically like a small caravan of autonomous vehicles that deliver machinery, repair equipment, food and water, basically logistic support for the mines. There's a couple of drivers that go with it, and otherwise it's just a fully autonomous truck. I've got a little yellow. What's that?
Have those things ever been diverted?
No, they have a couple pilots on board just in case there's trouble. They would radio in for help, but they pretty much drive themselves. I don't think they're not even braked AI on these trucks. It's pretty much like they're programmed here. Go there. They'll try and go around obstacles and things, but it's not like there's a computer that gets hacked into for the most part.
Okay.
And so if you look on the screen on Roll20, there's kind of a big picture of a huge strip mine, then a little kind of train truck transport vehicle that they would recommend you go out on. They don't know when the attack's coming in. He assumes that Parviz is at location. Gives you a photo of him. I didn't find a photo, but it's a young man, early 20s, thick mustache, kind of gaunt, dark-skinned, dark hair, wearing just probably slacks and a button-up shirt.
Yeah, Parviz. Did he tell us about what group of rebels did he infiltrate?
He actually was part of the.
Is Parviz a native?
Yeah, he is a native, and there's a Islamic church that kind of runs the whole group here. It's a theocratic planet. Within that, there are a few what they call militant like breakoffs. Although the religion itself isn't militant, there are a few groups that like kind of like Greenpeace here,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one of them that that call themselves the Torch of the Heavens,
Torch of Heaven. Okay.
and they claim like strong ecological purpose. They think that the strip mines are destroying, which arguably could be, but they are opposed to the outsiders that are coming in and like kind of like raping the planet and taking resources off world and leaving ruin in its wake. And so he actually, I think, can provide you with a small stack of pamphlets that Parviz is like over the past 6 months. He's kind of gathered these things up and sends them in by courier whenever he can.
So they're like ecological, but have they done anything violent
No.
yet?
Yeah, they're not tied. Samir is tied into the law enforcement of Fafir. It's pretty much one big municipal government, world government, and he's got contacts on the law enforcement. And so occasionally he'll send questions and things, and he's asked about this group, the Torch of the Heavens, and they've had no reported like violent outbreaks.
All right. Anybody else got any questions they want to ask?
What form are their attacks taking?
So far, there have been no attacks. Parviz didn't have any particular threatened form. Do you want to try and kind of burrow down into it? He did talk about like, gathering supplies and things.
Oh, it was the supplies and figure out what they're going to try and do based on that. Wouldn't Samir have done that already?
Yeah, I think he's kind of gathered together the Parviz is like mentioned like they're trying to buy small arms and small arms like tech level 3 and lower.
Explosives?
Maybe like some things like grenades or TNT. Maybe some like IED type stuff even.
So it seems more likely they're going to try and attack with like a group using small arms rather than say blow stuff up and claim credit for it, or vice versa.
He really doesn't have much information on this particular group as far as like what their end goal is, other than to shut down the mine. And so, oh, you know what? I'm looking again. My Palomi's tech level 2, so it's even like it's probably like muskets and like black powder and TNT and stuff like that. Not even like grenades and stuff like that. Yeah, so their goal is to shut down the mine. He doesn't know if they want to kill everybody there or just cause enough damage it's not profitable to be there.
How far is the mine from where we are now?
It's about a 6-hour drive.
Yeah,
you
that
get
kind of
on
makes
that train transport and get outside of town.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, you wouldn't build it like directly on top of a town, on top of where you're landing your ships and refining or whatever. But
and you're on a pretty big planet. It's just one area that's really heavily populated, and the rest of the planet is. There's
so then I'd say we tried to blend in with the locals, or we can go straight to the mine.
There could be some locals involved. If you're going to start trying to like research the Torch of the Heavens, they would be operating outside of the city, except for maybe little splinter groups that are out in the wild. Like pretty much everybody's in the city that you're in. So definitely researching that. There is some concern about the timetable. Parviz infiltrated for months and has disappeared. They kind of want to get him back.
How long ago did he disappear?
About 2 weeks ago.
Okay, it's Gafar, and then what's your name, Jojo?
Tane.
Tane. It's Gafar, right, Bob?
Yep.
Okay. So, Tane, I say that we can keep track of each other and in communication. So I say I head over to the town, and I will try to meet with, blend in and see if I can find out any more about the opposition.
Do you look anything like a native, though?
Well, I'm from at least an Islamic faith, and so I figure I can blend in better than either of you.
What?
Just from default, like the language is going to be different, and like to my Indiana white boy eyes, you would blend in really well, but like to Najee and to the locals, like they probably wouldn't unless you had some way of like messing with it. Like if you had some disguise or some facility with language.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to use my skills, and I took some basic trade goods, so I will try to kind of bribe my way in and say that I am a outsider trying to come in to support the torch, to feed the fire of the torch of the heavens. We've heard their tells and such, and so maybe I can take that tact while you guys go and try to find our contact person in the mines.
It sounds good. I think with your connect and also coming from an Islamic background, even though it's a variation, but you probably know a lot of the same stories about the Prophet and things like that. So yeah, you definitely have. You passing yourself as a local would be difficult, but like a sympathetic outsider would be pretty easy.
Yes.
So
how does that sound to both of you?
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, that sounds good. But out of character, not like asking him this, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Like he gave us the information of the contact, the group, etc., and that there's a potential attack incoming that he knows about. Did I just miss it, or did he not tell us exactly what our expectation is? Like, are we here to defend them if something happens, or are we trying to infiltrate this group and stop this from happening? Was there an expectation that he gave us?
the primary is to find Parviz,
Mhm.
and anything that you can find out. Like there's a security force here to like stamp out any group that
Okay.
you find. You're not expected to like to
Okay, so the
to destroy
information
the-
gathering was the end goal, not just a step along the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I just missed that little bit. That's definitely what we're doing. Okay. So yeah, that sounds good. Going and trying to find him.
So Mike wants to do that. We'll run that kind of as a first as the scene. But what are Tani and Gifar going to be doing while Najee is off trying to make connections?
I guess we were gonna go out to the mine, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be about 6 hours away. Are you going to break up the party this early? 'Cause I'm totally willing to kill Najee.
Yeah, man, I
Yes.
think that was the plan.
I mean,
Hey, look it. If I get caught, you have a telepathic connection with me. I'll lead you to him.
there we go.
You are the bait.
You just,
Nice.
you just
I'm a
stole
little
him.
fucking worm on a big fucking hook.
Just stole him for 12 hours because we can't turn these things around.
That is
Yeah.
another thing. The train that he's found, they just kind of halted a shipment for you guys to get on. But there could be other vehicles that can take you out there. You could hire a driver. It's not
There's no-
like
There's
it's
no
not
air
like
vehicle.
a plot lock. Yeah, I think you could. I think they don't do it because it's heavy for these things, and they're just trying to like slip you guys in quietly. But if you needed to get there more quickly, you could get like a helicopter or something like that.
I mean, tech level 4. Can't we get I have no idea
Planet's
what a tech.
2.
I know, but we came from a tech level 4 world, didn't we?
Yeah, you came in on a spaceship, so you guys could have access to some other stuff from Cardenas Company.
mean,
I don't know if I'm going to just put like helicopters at your disposal all the time, but I think
Well,
there'd be
not-
some available here.
I don't think they would use a helicopter, but they might have like dirt bikes or I mean, 6 hours away by slow moving train is probably like 3 hours away by atomic
Yeah,
powered motorcycle.
I don't want to belabor the point. There would be other options to go there and maybe quicker. There's also a rail, like an actual rail train that delivers ore back to the pad here. So maybe get one of those little hand pumped carts to like rush down that thing if you wanted to.
Ah,
Yeah, I would
But,
think if we're trying to infiltrate and find this guy without causing a ruckus, we should take whatever the standard mode of transportation they take to get there is. That way it's we're just one of the crowd getting to the mine. However the miners get there.
And so Tani and Gafar are planning to jump the train, or the
Yeah, I
truck
think-
transport.
I think that would be the
Yeah, that seems to be the way to go.
yeah. That way they
And-
don't just see a helicopter coming in and shoot it down.
You guys are welcome. I mean, they've held up this truck for you. Mike, do you want the truck to wait for you, or do you want them to go on ahead and then you'll make your own arrangements?
I think I'll go on ahead, and then I'll make my own arrangements.
All right. So yeah, you guys kind of part ways here. Tani and Gafar are led toward the truck, introduced to. I keep having the wrong one open. Atash and Hussein. They are the drivers. They're just kind of laborers, probably some mechanical background.
Mhm.
They keep the truck running, and they greet you, help you store your baggage on gear, and the train takes off, and we kind of watch the truck roll out on these big industrial roads, kind of through some high security fencing, out away from the city, and the Uber shows up for Naji. Naji, how do you want to get to town from the spaceport?
I think I will go ahead and probably walk into town.
Okay. I think it's set off a little ways just because of noise and stuff like that, and the ecological impact. But maybe an hour walk into town.
Yeah.
And so as you come walking in, it's a big town. It's a couple 100,000 people, so it's smaller than like San Antonio or something like that. And there are parts of it that are just very densely packed. But as you kind of are approaching from the outside, you do see high-rise buildings sticking up kind of above large commercial core. As you're walking through, the first things you hit are like some industrial districts, probably little mosques, and there's some alternative religions. Like there's maybe some other religious groups spread through the mix, but some prominent mosques. And you notice like the orientation of the mosques are all kind of pointed toward the center of the town. And as you're walking ahead, you see a large spire sticking up in the middle of Hafir, a large blue kind of onion, like the Cyrillic, the Russian onion-topped architecture. And it's just a huge blue, beautiful spire. And I think as you're walking there, you hear a call to prayer start ringing out. And you're walking down the road and you see like a lot of people kind of stop what they're doing, and you recognize the observation of an evening prayer as they start throwing mats down, cleaning themselves, praying.
Yeah. I will do the same and kind of mirror them. Mainly I'm listening to see if the prayer is super different, like if there's just anything crazy involved in it compared to what a...
I think that they're doing it, even though they speak Farsi, they're doing it in Arabic, and they're doing it in like the original written by Muhammad on Terra. Like they're very purist. So I don't know if the Quietus Muslim group that you're from adheres to the same strict language, and just differs a little bit in some beliefs. But this is like recognizable to you. Like you can go along with. You could repeat with them if you wanted to.
Okay.
And so after the prayer observations go by, you're walking on, and you do see some people kind of nodding courteously toward you as they're going about their day. Did you do any research or any? I think the Samir had some handouts, some flyers that had been handed out by the Torch of the Heavens.
Yeah, I probably looked those over while I was walking into town.
Okay. Do you want to give me what would be like an intelligence check?
A no check?
8.
I don't have no, but... Oh, damn. Even with like, I think it's a -2, right, if you don't have the skill?
I think it's only a -1.
Oh, you know
It's only -1 now?
Yeah, we didn't even look at what you... Yeah, it's -1 for skills. It's -2 for attacks.
Okay. So it would be a 10, even with a -1.
Nice. I'm wondering if Connect might work here. What are your thoughts on that? It's like a social, right?
If it was trying to, because my ultimate goal is to connect with somebody. So if that was a role to find somebody using those pamphlets, then I would say yes. If
Actually,
it was me trying to
find people you know
obtain.
where to get illicit goods and services, be familiar with foreign cultures and languages, get
Yeah.
favor. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess be familiar with foreign cultures. So yeah, I mean,
So I think
totally say that's part of it.
even have it in 11. So super successful. You start putting together, and I think I need to enroll 20. I'm going to go to a token here. And you see on a couple of the flyers, there's all sorts of things. They talk about the mine. Nobody mentions Cardenas Group, but they mention the mine by name. I don't have a name for the mine. What's the Spanish name for a mine that gets some sort of edible or agricultural ore?
An edible ore?
Not edible ore, but like something they use for fertilizer or soil conditioner, some sort of soil amendment.
What's cave in Spanish?
El Cavo. Actually, it is called Cavo. It's the Cavo mines, regardless. You see some that reference the Cavo mines, and you find some that they've actually...
Cueva
Cueva?
is cave.
Actually, I like that better. The Cueva mines. Some of them have this little icon on there. It's in red. It's actually colored to have like a little shadow around it. And you think there's like an artistic inspiration of like the flames casting a shadow beneath them. As you're walking through the neighborhood, you find a couple of buildings where this graffiti appears on walls. In most instances, much more crudely drawn, but like a little graffiti on a wall here and there. And you start recollecting, and what's a place where you've been where like underground organizations have used like little way markers like this to guide people to a safe haven? Did your
For
religion
me?
use it, or like
Yeah,
what?
actually, I'd probably say, because my religion probably wasn't underground back on my planet, so I would probably say it's probably somebody I ended up turning in or taking down as part of one of my first missions.
And so actually, it's very, very parallel to what you're doing now. You kind of watch the pattern of how it's appearing, and you basically figure out it's leading you in toward a particular, I think maybe there's a food kitchen within clear vision of a large palatial estate that has I think it's clearly a Cardenas company estate. Cardenas comes from a particular kind of thistle and has a bright purple flower as part of their logo for your company. And this gate is adorned with a beautiful, huge, I think platinum kind of disc with a big purple thistle emblazoned on the top of it, on the front of it. And like as you find the location, like you're looking right at the Cardenas company's logo, quarter mile, half mile away. Soup kitchen here is kind of where the signs have led you. And there's probably a few people coming and going in and out of the soup kitchen as you approach.
Okay. I trying to develop my cover here. I think I'm trying to go to be an exterior merchant, so I will try to find someplace nearby that's like a cafe or someplace more like, because I don't think as an outside merchant I would be going to the soup kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be trying to find.
What's a better location to be going to? Because we can change the soup kitchen.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, like a cafe or
maybe like a bazaar.
Like a tea.
Yeah, cafe. I like a coffee house. I like a coffee and tea house. Maybe like probably not hashish, but like a hookah parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's not a soup kitchen. It's a hookah parlor. Still within like a stone's throw of, or a short distance from the Cardenas mansion. And yeah, you see people going in, being sat at tables outside. ordering large hookahs, pots of tea, maybe some heathens drinking coffee. What do you do?
I'm going to go and order, and then when it comes to paying, I am going to bring out like the standard credits and see if like what's everybody else paying with.
I think it's a big enough city. There's some local currency, but there's no. If you watch for a little while, you see somebody pull out some sort of like a cred stick that would be comparable to what you get. Would Cardenas Company think to give you pocket change in local currency as well?
Probably not,
Okay.
Oh. How many
but I
fees?
have trade goods, luckily.
Oh yeah. So I think you're good there with trade goods.
Yeah, and so
good,
I'll
take it.
bring out something interesting, some little bit of tech, and like realize like, oh, I don't have any of the local money. Would you take this instead?
Nice. So some little bit of tech.
I mean, because they're tech too, so like, I mean, even
a
like
gaming
a
system, little TV screen.
yeah, maybe or like a lights, weather, maybe some kind of weather station, like radio transmitter, like it picks up the local Cardenas stuff. Like
Well,
they
you
have
brought
to go elsewhere to get it.
you
Yeah.
brought trade goods, right?
What's that, Bob?
I said he brought trade goods, so it would be something that
Yeah, he's using trade goods.
yeah, so it would be something tradable.
But we can be real flexible with what trade goods means.
Oh yeah.
He's
That's the whole
defining.
thing.
He's defining
Trade
something
goods. Trade goods are supposed to just be like
what they
Yeah,
want
it can
here.
be as simple as flashlights. It can be whatever.
Um,
The
And I don't
5
think-
million AA batteries.
Yeah.
You give them the shake file sheets, or like solar power something.
yeah, I like the idea of like a little weather radio type thing. I think you actually pull it out and flip through the dial, and you find like there is a local broadcast, even though it's Tech 2. There are some people that have a higher standard of living, and so you find some music or something being broadcast over. I think if you flip through, you can find some sort of news channel that's like kind of state news, and it's a theocracy here, so a lot of it's going to be kind of the state police and religion kind of mixed together, what they want to teach you. Yeah, you flip that through, and how are you going to try and present that to somebody at the restaurant? Somebody at the TMs?
I probably turned up and I think this is worth more than like a cup of coffee. Maybe I can like maybe I can start a tab with this.
You had an 11 after it was modified to add Connect to it. Is that right?
No, 12 with Connect added.
Okay. Yeah, they're very impressed by it. They ask you, how does that work? We show them how to reprogram the channels and things.
Yeah. I'll show them how to operate it. Show them
I
what
think they're
the
kind of
power source is.
they're clicking through, and you actually pick up like police band channel, and you notice like when they hear that, like they try to hide their excitement and like flip it off. It's like, yes, we'll set up a tab for you. Like they're clearly excited to be getting this, and take it. And yes, your tab is great. What is your name, kind sir?
Naji.
They're speaking Arabic. They're speaking Farsi. Do you speak any Farsi, or would you switch over to English?
Um,
Or do you speak enough?
Actually, I think I speak Arabic, so I'll switch over to Arabic. I probably speak a little
No,
bit of
but
Farsi.
They speak Farsi. So
Oh,
you
no,
try and switch to Arabic?
Yeah, I'll
They-
try to switch to Arabic, and then if that doesn't work, I'll try to switch to English.
I think they can speak enough because they do read the Quran in Arabic. They can
Yeah.
speak to you a little bit in Arabic. So you give them your name, Naji, you said?
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you. This is incredible. This will be great. My family will love to listen to the programming.
I have
What can I do for you?
I have more goods to trade. Some are more of a some would sell in the bazaar. I don't know if Cardenas Company would let me sell some of them in the bazaar.
When you say that,
So I was
they
hoping-
kind of glance up toward the mansion, like they know where they are.
Yeah. So I was hoping to see if I could meet any local merchants who could provide me an alternative market.
Looks you up and down a little bit. Clearly considering what you've just shown and what they might be looking for. What more of these devices? What is it that you are looking to trade? I might know some people.
Some of those, some are more to, some could be just lights to light the sky, like torches.
Is there something that would fit the bill of what they were looking for? Like, they were getting like muskets and black powder and TNT. Like, do you have anything that might be a more advanced weapon?
Well, I don't have an advanced weapon, but I'm trying to let on that I do. I'm totally trying to lie now that I am an arms dealer.
Yeah. So I think with trade, sell or buy things, figure out what a purchase hard to get, deal with customs, run a business. Give me a trade check. Trying to earn their trust still, so I get difficulty 8 again.
Oh, damn! And it is an 11.
Nice. I think this scene ends with him rubbing his fingers, and we didn't name him yet, did we?
No.
What's
think so.
I think we'll go with Marduk.
Nice.
Okay. Marduk kind of gives you a look, looks down at the radio, looks over at the house, and you can see like he really hopes that what you've got is available to him. He picks up what you're insinuating. You see him make the transition from untrusting to hopeful and let that kind of overrule him. And he tells you, I need to go check on my customers. Just wait here. You've got a tab worth a long visit. It shall be lucrative. And he disappears in the back. And I think
I'll pick up a plate of food or whatever and go and sit down at a table.
Yeah, very good. And we cut to Tani and Gafar. You're on this train. It's a train of maybe like a half a dozen cars. And when you get to Atash sits at the very front. There's no like anthropomorphic droid driving the train. It's just a series of computers. There's sensors on every car, and basically it's programmed with a bunch of waypoints, and it goes from waypoint to waypoint to waypoint. And if it runs into an obstacle, it will try and navigate between. It's got a little bit of like an ATV kind of build to it. It's got some great big, huge all-terrain treads to it. But it's also a huge, massive vehicle. So it tries not to do much climbing, but it can go off roads if there's a washout. Atash is in the front car. This is pretty much a troop transport car. It's empty except for Atash and some rough, like some water and supplies. Hassan is in one of the rear cars. I'm not necessarily sure which one, but he's back there just kind of checking on the systems. And every once in a while, he'll climb up on top of the truck, walk up and down, jump from vehicle to vehicle, and just kind of check things out. He just burns his 6 hours doing that. What do Tani and Gafar do for 6 hours while they're on this truck?
Look
Or
around.
what are you in the middle of doing when the action starts, is what I should ask.
Probably looking on my phone at pictures from my home world or something.
Okay. Are they pictures of like people that you are excited to meet, and so like you're happy to look at those, or is it like pictures of fans being happy to meet you?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Well, more of the latter.
Yeah. So it's a lot of ego when your father's looking at these like, oh, people love me.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any interaction? Do you have any interaction with either Atash or Hossein?
Well, sure. We talked for a while, but don't they actually have to work and do stuff?
Yeah, and they're pretty idle jobs. They pretty much are just babysitting the truck while it does all the navigation.
Hmm.
But yeah, they will chat with you, or if you're not.
Well, yeah, it's like, ask them about like what kind of entertainment there is around here, things like that.
Yeah, I think they named some nice clubs. If you kind of want to, they probably even know like a hash parlor somewhere, like an opium den type thing, down to regular just tobacco joints. They're probably, I don't think there's much drinking on the planet, and I think like they don't bring alcohol up at all. It would be up to you to try and investigate that. Like that's one thing is like caffeine is about as strong as you can get here unless you dig real deep.
Hmm.
Do you have anything particularly you want to get from them? I guess you're kind of schmoozing them. I know talk is a skill for you. I want to figure out how you want to use this in interesting ways.
Well, do they seem to be happy working for the company? I assume that they're from the school, right?
Yeah, they receive a regular paycheck and like they keep their families fed. They both seem to have large families. They've got no complaints. They don't seem like zealous, like they don't seem like Cardenas or Death,
Mm-hmm.
but they seem real happy. They're a little bit curious about what you guys are doing. You think they're not told much. You don't even know if they know there's like an imminent attack. You're just some VIPs that they've been told to take out there. You feel they're pretty much in the dark unless you want to share anything with them.
Yeah, probably better off in the dark. Unless, well, I ask him if has there been any unrest? Is there like robots mining, or is it like natives?
There's a mix. Most of the labor is mechanized.
Mm-hmm.
There are machines that have been brought in from off planet, and then there's a good workforce of maybe a couple thousand that Cardenas Company employs and actually trains them up on like engineering of tech that's like way beyond their native tech level. You know, like the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a thing, and maybe that's actually what Atash aspires to. Is he really wants to be a mining engineer, and like learning on the truck is kind of his way of getting out there. He's actually maybe it's just saying he's really looking over the equipment and wants to like help install it and eventually maintain it out in the field. That's where the money is.
Yeah, and he can better himself eventually, get off this world, or move the tech level forward.
I don't think there's really any with these guys. There's really nothing as far as like they're not obfuscating anything. I'm looking. You've got notice, connect, talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think let's see real quick. What does Naji do as your first underway? Jojo? Oh, what's Naji up to when you're first underway in the?
You mean Tani?
Oh, I'm sorry, Tani. Yeah. Looking at my notes wrong.
Looking at Mike's. That is Mike's character name. Yeah. But I would, once I see that he's kind of going onto the roof of the vehicle sometimes, I'll go ahead and follow him up there. And I'm going to try setting up the survey scanner that I've got and just start taking readings of the planet as we're driving down the road.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, I think as he's kind of going, he climbs out in the truck and takes just a little bit of agility, but he kind of leaps from truck to truck. Goes into each one, checks. You see he's really paying attention to the gear that's stowed in there. Like I was telling Bob, he really aspires to like know more about this tech. It's really nothing to you. Like it's TL3 basically that they're really impressed by. Pardon me. Pardon me. Thank you. But yeah, he seems pretty eager. Seems like a smart kid, a younger guy. And at one point, yeah, he just kind of run his things, and you got plenty of time to set up your survey gear. I think. Do you have science?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a science skill to check up anything other than like the most basic analysis. Difficulty 6.
So that's 12.
Nice. Yeah, you set up the scanner, and I think you run a few scans, and there's nothing picked up just yet. But
Okay.
it's sitting up there. It's pinging. You start getting some information on like the air temperature, humidity, the composition of the gases that make up the atmosphere, like the dust levels. It starts kind of reporting all this stuff, and I think maybe the scanner, if you leave it running for a little while, starts providing more and more information. But you're like on a moving truck, and you're moving it toward the mine, and you're starting to see the data kind of change a little bit. I think maybe even like as you get maybe a couple hours. Actually, it's an hour outside of town. The dust's in the air. It's actually maybe there's some health concerns as you're approaching the mine. Maybe it's not really. There's some air quality issues. And while you're
floating,
yeah, or at least some dust that they're like the stuff that crystallizes your lungs or cuts up the silicate that cuts up lungs. There's enough that you're thinking like, well, yeah, maybe I don't want to live here. So far, Hussein, you don't think he's got any knowledge of any concern like this. But then there's a call that goes out. I think you hear way off in the distance behind you, back at Hafir, you hear just a susurration, like a low, almost a moan. But then radio on the truck in each car cracks on, and you hear like the call to prayer. Have you ever been exposed? Has Tani or inside the car, Gafar, ever been exposed to like a call of prayer type thing?
Probably only maybe Najee's like personal what he's doing.
And he
probably never dealt with the widespread one though.
He probably, I think he mainly just meditates. Like he was doing a very transparent one on this planet, but on his own, he doesn't usually do the whole rigmarole. Here, I think when this goes out, Atash and Hussein both, as soon as the call starts, climb up on top of the truck and they face back toward town and lay out some carpets and pitchers of water and do some ablutions and start praying. And I think right as they kind of get into the middle of their prayer, they're like a minute in, the scanner blips again. And you're up on top of the car, kind of just scouting out what they're doing, looking in the survey scanner. Blips a couple times, and you see there's some biological contacts in the area. And it resolves into 3 contacts that are maybe a quarter mile up from the truck toward, the direction it's going. How much information can you get from a survey? Like you've got three pretty much people-sized things up there.
The scanner says it's got a decent amount of information it can take in, like it can even record video information from its scans. And then I've got the data slate, so that I was going to use as like an actual screen and running more programs on there to kind of interpret what they've got. So he's probably got a decent amount of information he can pull from the scanner.
Okay. I think the people, like, you look to see like, well, what sort of information can the scanner pick up, and it's not picking up anything visual, which fairly quickly, as the survivalist in you kicks up, like, well, okay, they're probably hiding. It picks up whispers, and I think it's through the whispers that like the scanner's like patterning, like unknown subject 1, unsub 2, unsub 3, and it after hearing a few moments of whispers, like it basically settles on 3 different voice patterns. You amplify it a little bit, and the voices are in Arabic. I'm sorry, in Farsi. Do you have any facility with Farsi?
I do not, but if I hear it and notice that it's not one of the ones I grabbed from them, I've heard the various people on the planet, Hassan, they've probably spoken it to each other at least, right?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and spend the effort and go ahead and grab onto one of them and borrow their language for a bit.
Nice. There's no skill check to do that either, right? Just commit an effort and you're good to go?
Commit an effort. They get a saving throw on some of the higher level ones, but not the basic contact.
Yeah. No, I don't think
it's just an effort use.
I think you actually are also catching them deep in prayer, and they're almost ignoring you. but you kind of tap into their brain, and what is it like for a Tani when you translate through somebody else's mind?
It's probably because of the way they describe it as a gestalt, is that he's still hearing the actual words, but it's like a guy sitting there in the background behind them saying it in a language that he understands as well. So he can hear it double, but able to parse through and understand it.
And I'm picturing almost I'm picturing like you're almost hearing it in their voice too. Is that right, or is it in your own voice? Like, does it feel like your own internal dialogue, or is it like their?
Probably like their language comes across in whatever voice they would have, but then the translation is like a generic the like late night TV show host type of generic talk.
Mhm.
Or what is it, the nature documentaries, and this
Oh, like the Admiral.
This is the gazelle going across the open plains, like that kind of voice.
It's not so much that they're interpreting for you; you hear like a narrator who's overlaying the interpreting check. Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
As you're doing this, and it's what a main action if you do that right, so it's really relatively quick. Do you inform Gifar that something's going on, or do you just want to kind of track this down yourself?
I'll listen to it for a bit and see if it's something that we really need to be worried about. Because if it's just guys hanging out there, I'm not going to be worried about it. But we'll see what it sounds like first.
Before we do that, let's just find out, Gifar, when they climbed up to the roof to do their prayers, what did you do?
Well, I don't want to pray with them, and I don't want to disturb them. So, I guess I'll just keep sitting wherever I was sitting before, and like look out the window or whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to just arbitrarily say lead car. That's one of the best view up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the front car, and yeah, we then cut to Tani on the roof. You do that psychic connection. So you choose Hossein, the one you've been talking to the most. And pretty soon David Attenborough is in the back of your mind. You hear the Farsi words, and then you hear the calm, kind of dispassionate but accurate translation. I think you hear someone telling, kind of giving commands, saying, "Stay quiet, stay down. They're going to see you. Don't move out there. Just wait, let it happen. You know, God wills it. God will protect us." And then calls over, Nero, do you have the trigger ready? Do you have the trigger? As soon as the truck gets to the rock, click your trigger. And as you're hearing this, you look up ahead, like there's a big kind of promontory rock, maybe quarter mile up ahead of the truck. The truck's plodding at it, pretty good clip. I'd say in like 3 rounds you're going to get to it.
Okay.
And yeah, they're saying like trigger it as soon as you get to this rock. You can tell there's levels of anxiety, but also they're pretty dedicated. Like it's not fear; it's just the anxiety before they pull off a job. What do you do?
I'm gonna pack up my scanner and everything so it doesn't get messed up, and then gonna go see the computer program that's running this. Does it have a interface that's like pretty easy to work with, or is it a specialized, only these guys really know how to work with it?
I think you're going to spend like a round basically gathering your gear up, and jumping into the front car. So you're about 2 rounds away from the thing. You drop in, and there's Gifar kind of looking out the window, looking up at this big, beautiful rock up there. And you see the control panel. I think there's a key system set up in like a dashboard to turn it on, and that's the security. There's no passwords or anything. There's a fairly simple. You can look at it and pretty quickly figure out how to stop it, start it. You could maybe physically take it over and redo some waypoints. You don't think it probably doesn't even have like a satellite connection on it. It probably can't be like remotely programmed just because there's no uplink to a signal.
All right, so while I'm messing with the panel, I'll be telling was it Gifar? Yeah,
Mhm.
Gifar that I believe that rock is going to blow us up in just a moment, and then sit there pecking at the computer trying to see if I can get it to divert around the rock, pretend the rock's a bigger, obstacle than it really is.
Isn't there just like a switch to manual control button?
I don't think there's even really a steering wheel. I think it's by programs, but I like the idea of him like just overriding the current path just to path around it, or even like false. It has sensors that pick up
Yep.
things, so you're trying to like give it a detour.
Yeah, saying that, that big rock that's there that you're avoiding on this side, really it's bigger than it is. Just go all the way around or something like that.
I think I'm going to do a fix check, and it's going to be difficulty 8 simply because of the time constraint. I like to do it in a round. If you don't succeed, then we'll roll a d4 and figure out how many rounds it takes.
So that's an 11.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. You easily. Are you going to make it go like right, left? Like there's no wrong answer, but like are you gonna stop, or are you gonna like divert wide around the rock?
Are the 3 people close enough that if I divert one way or another, it might accidentally run them over?
Yeah, I think they're in like a little bit of a scree, maybe in a little gully behind a small hill, and you
Mhm.
you know from where the sensor is picking up the whispers, you have basically the direction they're hiding in. So you could like run the truck like directly toward them, or go around the rock on the other side.
Yeah, divert it so that it accidentally runs them over since they're in hiding.
Nice. Bob, you're up in the window. Tanny drops in pretty quickly, gets to the machine and starts programming it, and you feel the truck like lurch a little bit to the right. And it's been going. You've been watching it just chew up this road. The road goes through fairly little terrain. It's mostly just straight lines, right? And it's been barreling in a straight line, and now something that Tani has done is lurched you off track. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to assume he said there was so the rock was going to blow up, so
Yeah.
I'll be like, I guess it's a good thing that we're not going to go near the rock.
Damn psychics always know things about rocks.
Or it's an illusion. We'll see. If the rock blows up, then he was right.
Okay. So you're just going to kind of wait and see what happens?
Yeah.
The truck goes off the main line. Why don't you roll? You're not going to actually hit with the truck. I'm not going to have you like take an attack to make this big bulky truck hit them. But you do get fray dice, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's only fair to throw some fray dice at these guys. Yeah, I think one is fine. We'll apply that across.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think you go kind of off the road. The truck starts bouncing. You hear Atash and Hussein on the roof both yell and afraid at first, and then some angry, like what in Allah's name are you doing down there? They start like you hear like Atash is on the car you're in, so he starts making his way there, and that's almost a distraction when you see like the truck like bound over a small rise and drop down, and you see like 3 faces look up at you, surprised and afraid. One guy is holding like a trigger for like a what you presume is the explosive. He just like surprised. He jumps to his right, and while you don't see it yet, he gets banged up pretty bad, like twists his knee, going off one side. There's a young woman who pulls back out of her way, and she grabs like a very young boy who's maybe 12, and she's dragging her with him. And as you're going, like the truck slams down, and like the truck lands on the boy's leg, and the tires kind of grind and like drag him under the wheels, and the truck just kind of goes rolling by, and like you hear the wail of her grief as like the truck just keeps going. It gets around that rock and then like reorients back at the first one, and that's when like Atash like drops in the truck to demand what happened. He seems not to even heard the girl scream, and let's cut from there. Do you want to cut back to Naji, or do we want to wrap it for tonight and pick up in this scene next week?
I'm good with either.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to wrap pretty soon. Like I could probably go for like another 20 minutes or so, but I could keep going.
Yeah, I would say that
with
we
that.
wrap then, if we only have 20 more minutes. Seems like a good
Yeah.
spot.
Like we'll figure
right.
out. Think about what you want to do, Mike, for the tea house.
I'm going to become an arms dealer. I'm leaving Cardenas Company. I'm done.
You're moving in on a short-term goal there at least.
Mission
Um,
accomplished.
And Bob and JoJo, just think about what you'd want to do. Kind of, you've avoided an attack. Didn't really give Bob a chance to make any skill checks yet, but we'll jump into those next week. Maybe he'll have some chance to interrogate some young
You can
saboteurs.
entertain these two so they don't get upset about us diverting the truck.
What the fuck? You're gonna make us late? Sax solo. Oh, never mind. It's not so
It's all
bad.
good.
Oh, when we run over the kid. Wah, wah.
You should also have a sad trombone. Just to have a trombone on hand. Good deal. Well, yeah. Let's just drop it here then, and we'll pick it up next week. We'll figure out once Liz gets her character developed, we'll figure out where to go. And
All right.
I'll put some thought into these goals that you've got, and we'll try and throw some more seeds. After
Okay.
we find Parviz, we'll start chasing down some of your goals.
Sounds good.
Good
Yeah.
deal. We all have a very good night. I'm going to kill the broadcast, then I can stick around for a few minutes and chat if y'all want to. But broadcast is dying.